What is up, everybody? It is your boy DT. Enters the Lab podcast is back. And guess what today is? It is the NFL Combine. Today, right now, we got linebackers, the defensive line currently going as we speak. But hey, you can still catch us on right now. We about to go live. This is Enter the Lab podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media. We back, baby. We back.
My fault. What happened? I'm eating Popeye.
This man says eating some Popeyes. Commercial.
I'm ready for a break.
Hey, this clip.
Wipe your hands. Wipe your hands.
Commercial.
We over here about to die thirst over here.
Thing on the menu today, bro, and that's work. That's work for 60 minutes, bro. That's the only job we got to do today, bro. What you playing for? What you playing for? What you playing for? What y'all?
Get real lonely with the mic on, bro. Just want to talk to my friends.
Welcome back to Enters the Lab podcast. It's your boy DT. We got Lady E. See Henry, he's gonna hop on a little bit. Hey, we here. It was a little short break.
Little short break.
Little short break. But
Little time out. Just time out. We're gonna play. Little time out. Little time out.
But we back, man. We back. And we're gonna talk about our favorite time of the year, the off season. Mainly draft season. We talk NFL draft, we talk prospects, we talk risers and fallers, a little bit of mock drafts in there. But what better way to always start the NFL draft process with not only the All-Star games such as the Senior Bowl and the HBCU Legacy Bowl and other events like that, but with the 2024 NFL Scouting Combine, which is currently going on as the linebackers and the defensive line are currently doing their drills and stuff. See already some surprising numbers. Seen some guys, had some things to work on a little bit. But E, how does it feel to be back?
I'm good. I'm ready. I'm ready to start diving into these prospects, baby. So I already got my eye on a couple of them. Because right now, to be honest with you, the Falcons are looking pretty good. If things go the way we want it to go, that 8 spot is looking mighty nice with a couple of prospects on our draft board. So I'm excited.
Okay, that's good. Are you talking about? You're talking about 8 right now, right? You're not.
I'm talking about 8 right now.
Okay, you're talking about 8 right now. You're not talking about no 8 pending picks. No quarterback trades and you're not talking about that.
Look, I'm gonna say this, and because I know everybody has seen the video. I know everybody has seen that it's a done deal. All I'm gonna say is it was like this with Deshaun Watson. Ink must hit paper, and I need confirmation. So before I even jump over there right now, if we can get JF, I'm cool. Then we can go, address some other areas that we are looking at for our team. If not, I'm expecting us to take a quarterback. We're going to move up, do whatever, but I'm expecting us to take a quarterback with that first round pick.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about that, though, because the Chicago Bears, they're at the number 1 pick for the second consecutive year. First year, they traded back with the Carolina Panthers, and Bryce Young is now the quarterback for the Panthers, and Bears at number 9. So now they're back at this spot again. And it's obviously a very crucial process with the Bears front office people, mainly Ryan Poles leading the way. He's going to be having conversations with plenty of teams this week because it's already the sense around the NFL is that the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams. And Justin will be traded. And Ryan Poles, if he has to get to that point, he'll do his due diligence and give Justin the opportunity to find a brand new home in the NFL. So we're hearing all these things, right? And let's just talk about how big is it that they have to figure out what they need to do at the number 1 pick. It's either you keep Justin Fields You trust the process that he can grow. You get him more weapons. You build a team a little bit more, or you get the guy that is deemed a generational talent since high school, and you still have some of the same situation and flaws on the team, just like Justin Fields was starting on the past couple of seasons.
I mean, the thing about it is, I don't think Justin Fields could be happy in Chicago, but then he might not be happy in Chicago. I think that's the biggest thing. He's been there 3 years, really hasn't seen, a lot of people are down in it because they haven't really seen any growth from him. But again, you got to look at it. Did he have the right staff with him? Did he have the right people that could help him with his development? Again, I think that's where a lot of people got to look at right now when it comes down to it, is what can we, I guess you could say, what is it that Chicago wants? Do they want new blood in there with them? Because again, we already know that, the new GM and them did not pick Justin Fields. It was another team that did it. We all know that maybe the coaching staff just wasn't put together rightfully for him when he was picked. So maybe this coaching staff and the GM wants to pick somebody and have fresh blood in there. Again, like I said, I don't think it was a fair shot for Justin at the end of the day, but again, I do agree. Let him pick. If he wants to stay, let him stay. If he wants to go, find a trade partner for him to go and go get your guy.
Okay. Before you go, C. Henry, just want to say, what's good, brother? I see the background. I know you had to adjust it a little bit before you get up here. Go ahead, on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up? What's up, DT? What's up, Lady E? Man, you know what, man? You know what? First and foremost, let me just tell y'all right now, I am so envious and so jealous of this new position my Lions have put me in. You know what I'm saying? Being that we do not have any type of premium pick in this draft right here, I can't talk about who we possibly can get right now. There is no intrigue right now at our pick right now. We got to wait for the whole draft to come to us. And I'm jealous, man. Yes, I am lurking around y'all spaces trying to see what's going on. Yes, I am trying to see who y'all interested in free agency and in this draft. And with that being said, the most intriguing story has to be the Chicago Bears and what they're going to do at pick 1. And I don't know when they have to make a decision, because honestly, when you look at Justin Fields and the big scheme of things, him and Kirk Cousins are the biggest dominoes to fall in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest dominoes to fall before the draft. And really, it doesn't matter what happens for guys after them, guys, when we're talking about someone like Baker Mayfield, well, whoever's waiting on Baker Mayfield, they waiting to really see where Kirk and Justin going. So if it doesn't matter if it happens this week or the week of the draft, they really are kind of holding up the situation. If I am Chicago and Ryan Poles, man, I am sitting here holding all the cards. Either direction I go, I'm going to greatly improve my team in the position of my regime going forward. If I decide that Caleb is my guy, I think I have a market there for Justin Fields where I can go out and get some quality draft picks either this year or next. People say that the first round pick is totally out of the question for him. I don't know if that's the case. I think Pittsburgh, if they get anxious enough, they may offer the 20th pick this year. Also, picks a lot of times this time of year, a 2025 pick is considered, a first round pick is considered a second round pick because you're kicking the price a little bit down the bucket a little bit down the road a little bit. So it wouldn't surprise me if the market heats up enough for him and the team jumps out there and says, hey, I'm willing to give up a 2025 first round pick and some other draft compensation as well. So if I'm Ryan Poles, if I want to go with Caleb, the self-described, you know what I'm saying, next big thing, I can go that route. But just say I want to keep Justin. The price of this number 1 pick, the price of the number 2 pick, is say if they trade with you guys Washington, I think they can very easily get you guys for at least maybe multiple second round picks. So they say, hey, you know what, we're willing to give this number 1 pick to you for a second round this year and your first next year. I think that's a deal that Washington probably is willing to make. A little pricey, but probably be willing to make. But say they drop down to number 2, but in their mind, they're keeping Fields. They may tell the world that, yeah, we have interest in these other quarterbacks, but in their mind, they keep him Fields. So they drop down to number 2. And say the other teams, i.e. Atlanta, i.e. New England, if they have an interest in May or Jaden, they may willing to make a very similar deal that Washington just made. So now you're looking at a team in Chicago who's traded down 2 spots to 3 or 5 or 8. No quarterback is on their mind, but now they've acquired 2 first-round picks in 25 and possibly 26 if they're going to push it back a year. They're going to have their 2 first-round picks this year, possibly 2 second-round picks in this year's draft, and of course their 2 third-round picks possibly in this year's draft. So he has the ability to set the table for his regime and whoever his quarterback is going to be for the next 2 or 3 years. Now it depends on really what flavor he likes. Is he sold on Caleb? Is Caleb the guy? And if not, if Justin's the guy, hey, let's build it up around him. We still got 2 years of financial control of Justin before we have to pay him. If we go with Caleb, that would be 5 years of possibly financial control. So really, man, I got to look at my division mates with a little bit of the side eye because they got a potential to put something together very, very quickly. And it's intriguing. And I don't think we're going to get an answer this week.
I know the rumor mill had it that they're trying to get it done before the draft. So free agency is March 11th, so we'll see.
Yeah, as much as we talk about the Bears, I'm also very curious about what are the Vikings going to do with either bringing Kirk Cousins or potentially drafting a guy like a J.J. McCarthy or potentially trading up for maybe Drake May or Jaden Daniels in this draft because this team is starting to get a little bit younger on the defensive side and a couple of spots on the offense. Pretty good offense for what we've seen. They did the best they could without a Kirk Cousins. I think they need to add a running back there or so, something like that. But the Vikings are intriguing me because I want to see what they're going to do at that spot at the quarterback position.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly rumor has it that they reached out to the Bears about Justin Fields. So I don't know.
In a division trade?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Chicago want to trade within the division, but yeah.
So yeah, I was in your space earlier. Shout out to all the AT aliens in there watching the draft. Man, I couldn't talk. I was going to pick up my youngster, but I heard that, and I heard some folks kind of, kind of down talk, the interdivision trade. But the bottom line is this, man. Detroit has done 2 deals with Kwesi, who's the GM over there at Minnesota. We traded up in the draft a couple years ago to get Jameson Williams, and we also traded Hockenson to him for a first-round pick and some other change. So Kwesi and Brad definitely don't have a problem making trades. And let's be real, I hate to bring the card into it, but we got to talk about it. These guys are young African-American GMs. They've been in the mix for a very, very long time, and if they have an understanding amongst each other that they're willing to make the deal with each other, hey, man, it's been years. Folks ain't been trying to deal with us. So we're going to make the deal happen where we can make it happen. If it makes sense to both of us, what have you. Now, seeing a quarterback for the next 5 or 6 years, 2 times a year, I that may be hard to believe. But, hey, we're going to see Hockenson that many times. So I wouldn't put it past them. Again, I think Kirk and Justin are the 2 biggest dominoes to fall. So if Kirk decides to go somewhere else free agent-wise, then, again, now the pressure is going to be on, Chicago and Justin Fields for a decision to be made. But does pressure create better opportunities? Does one less option out there on the free agent market create more pressure for those other teams who are pursuing a guy like Justin? We're going to have to find out.
And we'll find out on this another episode of NFL free agency starts March 11th.
Yeah, man, y'all right. So another topic I want to have a conversation about. So did an episode with Red Zone on the Huddle podcast. And obviously we see this every year lately. The top prospects, they're not gonna throw, they're not gonna run, they're coming in their shorts, the new Under Armour, jacket gear and stuff like that. They're just gonna come for the interviews and the medicals. So look at the combine for the past couple of years from when it started. The combine was it wasn't as hyped as it is now we've seen the past couple of years with the media coverage gets, with people on Radio Row having conversation with front office people, NFL draft prospects, NFL evaluators, on air evaluators. Do y'all think the NFL Combine has lost its luster just a tad bit, or are y'all okay with some of the stuff that has happened for the past couple of years?
Go ahead, Henry.
For me, I think I've always thought of the combine as being kind of more for the hardcore fans. To me, it's become bigger and bigger commercially. It's kind of grown with the NFL's new 12-month cycle, if you will. Before it was just like the hardcore fans who really wanted to dial in to see what prospects were out there. Sometimes folks who played fantasy football wanted to get a heads up on the new crop of folks coming in. But I believe again, as the NFL has kind of grown to this 12-month cycle of us, news cycle, if you will, us being involved as fans and invested in what the team is doing even in the off season, I think it's grown. As far as these guys not working out, again, there's so much more access to these guys, so many more folks. There's so much more film. There's so much more information online. Usually it used to be this was the only place where they can kind of display their skills. We didn't hear as much about pro days as much as we do now, and private workouts and things of that sort. So it doesn't, knock the luster off for me. It just gives, I think, other guys an opportunity to shine. Actually, give other names, to be talked about and kind of found out about during this process. So it doesn't knock any luster off for me.
I don't think it lost its luster. I think a lot of times these players are looking to find ways, in a sense, to kind of save their money per se, or make their money, as we always kind of insinuate. So a lot of times some players want to wait until pro days before they even sit over here and do anything when it comes down to it. That's one. And then I know a lot of times that some players are coming off of injuries from the season, and they're trying to take their time to get reacclimated and different things like that. So I don't think it lost its luster. I just think that in general, I think a lot of people are just kind of blowing it off, in a sense. So then it's that.
I think they're both solid points. Me personally, I'm not really bothered as much about like the guys, not dressing now or doing some of the stuff that's going on the field, because I think I've reached a point where like a lot of that stuff on the field that they do, you're really looking at like how stiff they are or how fluid they are in the hips and stuff like that, and, for entertainment, but a lot of that stuff they're really not going to do on the field. Me personally, I'm more about the interview, about the person. And I know we can't see that because we don't have NFL access. I wish we did.
Yeah.
But I think the interviews are really important because it tells you the type of person that you potentially are going to get. And you can ask them about certain questions about like, hey, like, like this situation, what would you do? Or show some X's and O's, some film from last year, like, hey, you kind of made a mistake right here. Like, what were you thinking in that situation? And you had an opportunity in one play to do it. How would you fix it? Those type of things like that. I think, a guy like Caleb Williams, for all the talk, he's arguably the most polarizing player in this NFL draft. And a lot of rumor we have heard, whether it's true or not, I don't believe it, but, he doesn't want to go to the Bears, which I think is outlandish. It's an NFL team at the end of the day. But, those questions, stuff that has to be answered.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I agree with that. Even Danny kind of said when top picks decide not to do it. The thing about it is, I agree to that to an extent. Again, when you got the top picks, a lot of them don't want to get injured. Like today, I saw one defensive lineman, Xavier Thomas from Clemson, aggravate his hamstring. You don't want that to happen to where you can't do drills and now your pro day is something that's inevitable. Trice, he went out there and did not do well at all. Now he needs his pro day to be able to keep it,
Mhm.
to be able to keep it. So I understand both perspectives of like sometimes you may not do well. Maybe you didn't get the proper training that you thought that you needed to where you can do well in these on-field drills and different things like that. I do agree that the interviews are very much important. Going through, talking to these teams, talking to these GMs, getting a feel for what's going on. Because me as a human resource person, I got to make sure that you fit you fit what I'm looking at, especially if you're on my board. I got to make sure that you fit what I'm looking for. But in the same token, I do believe that when it comes down to the combine, I don't think a lot of people are just like taking it serious as that. They're just like they'll go to their pro day, but I'm just like, be honest with you, you get hurt at your pro day too. You know what I mean? So
Even Lambo got her pro day.
exactly. And and then two, you might not get all 32 teams. You might get a one scout that'll probably be there just to see you for 2 seconds and leave. You know what I'm saying? Again, for me, pro days are for those guys who didn't get the combine invites, that didn't get it, but they played probably in the senior game or they played in the East and West Shrine game. Some other smaller schools, like I know out here, Georgia let Mercer come. Some guys who didn't make it to the combine, they let Mercer come. They let some HBCU guys come as well, even though the HBCU had their own, but it might be some more guys who like, well, hey, let me do it. Some old people that are trying to come in and get in, because again, when you think about a top school like Georgia, you're going to get all 32 teams compared to a school probably like SMU or even Mercer who might not even get anything or probably get like at most 5 teams. So again, I feel like the combine hasn't really lost its luster. I just think a lot of people are just kind of like, whatever. But this is your opportunity to get to see all 32 teams, and they get to see you.
And I think that when you look at some of the top guys, I mean, to me, they really can't. Like Caleb Williams can't really improve his stock. Okay,
Yeah.
As fans, yes, we want to see him go out there and do everything, but let's look at, there are two sides of this. He has a management team. He's going to be pro. So besides us wanting to see him, what is the benefit of him doing it? Not much. Now, for some guys who there is some question, if you're the 3rd or 4th rated receiver, I would love for you to go out there and compete. I think the most important part of it to the NFL community is probably the interviews, which we don't see. But again, though, I think sometimes when you have guys, just to see their competitiveness, their drive, their ability to pick things up on the run, on the fly, even though they've been training for this probably all their lives essentially, but definitely weeks coming up to this, just going out there and competing on against guys who they've heard about, been told some of these guys may be better than you. I want to see that action as a fan, but I understand some guys, hey, it may not benefit them to do it. If I'm going to do this, I'm only going to do it once, because what we would say then is if they came to the combine, did the combine, put out the combine, and didn't do the pro day, then we'll be saying, well, you know what, you should be doing your pro day. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's really up to them. They get a chance to show themselves. Whatever they show to these talent evaluators is what they show, and I'm happy for any grain of footage I see. Best of luck to all these young men.
So, one conversation we had in the group chat this morning was, Deuce asked, what would we do to improve the HBCU combine? And probably I would also say the HBCU legacy game. So we obviously know from the HBCU side, they don't get as much recognition as a lot of the Power 5 schools that we watch on TV. And also, not only that, a lot of the well-known HBCUs get more noticed than like the D2 and D3 schools. But I think that was an interesting conversation because I was kind of conflicted, because to me, I feel like they're doing some good things. Maybe advertisement could be a little bit better in a sense. But also, like, when I watched the game, I think the game was just evenly matched. But I know the biggest story coming out of the game was the young man who, I believe he broke his ankle in the game, the quarterback from North Carolina Central. So I think, for me, I think just advertising and advocating more for that game to be, publicized a little bit more. I think that should be a case, because the combine that I saw, it was a pretty good combine for what I've seen. I seen a couple of scouts. I seen Detroit there. I seen Atlanta. I seen Chargers. You know, I seen some NFL scouts out there, but I think that's the only thing I would say I would improve, because HBCUs don't get advertised consistently like that. I mean, lately in the past, since Primetime went to Jackson State, they have, but we're still trying to, you know, get that notoriety out there.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like I said earlier in the group chat, the one thing that HBCUs have to do is like Deion Sanders. You have to go try to go get the top guys. You got to go out here and go talk to these guys. I understand the NIL is taking over, and these guys want money, but in the same token, you know, you got to go try. You gotta go put your school in front of them. You know, Deion, yes, it's the name or whatever, but you know, he got a couple of guys to come play for Jackson. You know what I mean? Same thing with Alcorn, with PV, with Mississippi Valley. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta still go out there and still, even though it's a long shot that you might get these guys, you never know. Somebody's parents might say, well, you know what, Southern is not that bad. You know, you're going to a HBCU, you know, you're down there by Louisiana, you still can get looked at. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a bad idea. But again, I get it. It's a long shot, but you still have to go put yourself, just like how we say for marketing purposes, you still have to market yourself. And HBCUs, don't wait for these guys to come to you. You know what I mean? Don't wait for them to actually come to you. Go to them. Meet them halfway. That's what you just have to do. You know what I mean? Like, that's just going to be the best. You know, start hitting up more of these JUCOs. You know, there's some top JUCOs, like in Texas. PV should be hitting up Bland. I'll be hitting up Bland. Mississippi got one of the best JUCOs in the freaking country. You know what I mean? I'll be sitting over there going over there to them and talking to those kids, seeing what they, you know, doing that. Start there. But you got to meet these kids halfway. Again, Terry Fontenot, he's a strong believer in HBCU. So yeah, I expected the Falcons to be there. You know what I mean? He supports the HBCUs, but you can't say that the whole league. You know what I mean? They're looking at these guys as, oh, okay, well, you know, hey, Carson Wentz made it. Why can't a quarterback from HBCU make it? You know what I mean? So again, you just have to sit over there and meet them halfway or meet them fully, you know.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm again, it was very, very conflicting as well when it came up in the group chat. I do agree with you, E. You know, they can try to get some of these players if they want to. They can try to hit up more JUCOs and more Division II situations, of Division II players, if you will. But the bottom line, I think, is that before we can ask about what can be better about the combine, we have to be better in supporting HBCU and
True.
Amen.
I deal in marketing, and not even from a football perspective. I just understand kind of how marketing, advertising dollars work. And the bottom line is this: wherever eyes go is where sponsorship goes. Wherever eyes are is where dollars go. If you've got eyes on you, advertisers want to get in front of eyes. And even myself, I have to do a better job of looking at these young men and trying to find out more about them. And we've just got to have more focus on HBCUs and HBCU funding and HBCU football, not the HBCU homecoming weekend. No disrespect to you, DT, but not the bands and what's going to happen at halftime. Not the homecoming. I hear about. I never hear about the games. I just hear about the homecomings is off the hook. You know what I'm saying? Which is not a bad thing. But if we're talking about the football and the emphasis being there and on these guys and how they need to get, you know, better opportunities, we got to put eyes on them. We got to make a concerted effort to grab our guys by the bootstrap and put eyes on them. You know what I'm saying? It's easy. You know, I wear the Michigan shirt. You wear the Georgia shirt. You know what I'm saying? DCU down with Ohio State. You know, we got to get some of our other brethren sometimes a little bit more of our time, so some of those top monies can funnel into that program, to those programs, and they can up their facilities. They can up their optics. Now, I am going to put a little bit of the onus of on some of our visual and digital platforms. Like, why aren't we? There used to be a time where BET had it might be before your time, you guys' time, but there was a time where BET had a game of the week. You know what I'm saying? A black college.
Oh no, I remember it.
There used to be a time where I can catch the Hallmark network, and they had, you know what I'm saying, 1 or 2 games a year, you know, on there. those the different classics that were going on. Why aren't we seeing more of these games on TV1, Complex, all these avenues that they call themselves kind of, you know what I'm saying, showing African American life. You know what I'm saying? I had a chance to go to the American Black Film Festival a couple years ago in Miami, and I got a chance to sit down and talk to a couple folks, and I asked them, why aren't we seeing more HBCU football games on the weekends? And my man flat out told me, I'm not gonna say which area, what network he was from, but he flat out told me, said it doesn't index well. Flat out, we don't get enough eyes on it. So if we're not getting eyes on it, we're not getting sponsors to come in and, you know what I'm saying, and run ads during that time. It's no benefit for us to have the game on. So we gotta pour into that. You know what I'm saying? And I think if we start pouring into it, and it was amazing. To your point, DT, it was amazing to see just the influx and the change of attitude that happened at Jackson State, and how all the eyes, I'm not saying all the eyes, but it was a benefit to all of the programs. But I even saw there was a little bit of a kind of some remorse and some regret when he came, because there's maybe some envy, but they also kind of knew. I think they had a vision that, you know, these eyes are here now, but how long are they going to be here? And as we can see, as soon as he left, the eyes left, the money left, everything, the players left as well. So it's an uphill battle, but we have to make a concerted effort on our own to support HBCUs.
And I agree with that. I don't think it's a lot of eyes. I know Dion tried to put him on ESPN. I know we had with Alcorn and what was that? North Carolina. I want to say North Carolina State. Came out and they did that over here out in Atlanta. I don't believe we just have enough eyes on it. I don't think a lot of people care. And then too, we got to realize too, not a lot of us, like you said, you know, I know DT, you support Ohio State. I support Georgia. You know, Hen, you support Michigan. Those are PWIs. You know what I mean? A lot of us didn't have the opportunity. I know DT, you went to a HBCU. You still support your HBCU, but when it comes down to football and everything like that, you know, you go Ohio State, but you still support it. There's not a lot of us that actually have the ability or actually went to a HBCU to kind of, like, you know, in a sense, respect it. You got a lot of supporters for it, but you don't have a lot of people that respect it. You know what I mean? Like you said,
I think there's a lot of respect for it. I think I didn't attend a HBCU at all, but I have a lot of love and admiration for it. I have a lot of folks who did and who are in those spaces, and I attend a couple of classics every couple years, and again, rub elbows with a lot of folks who are very, very prideful about it, but it just has to spread into the mainstream. It has to. And
I think that's what, and that's what I'm talking about with respect. but that's what I'm talking about with respect. Like, you know what I mean? Like for us, we respect it. You know what I mean? Like I went to the PV and Grambling game all the time back out there at Texas for the state fair. I'd have been to a couple of HBCUs. Half of my family went to HBCUs. I know about the bands. I know about everything. But a lot of time, and this is, you know, from family on, oh girl, we don't care about that game. They gonna lose anyway. Ain't nobody on that team. You know, that's how even them, when they approach it, it's like, ain't nobody on that team. We don't care about that. We just care about being there. It's homecoming, seeing old friends and the dancers and the band and being able to talk what we talk.
Come on, man. It's PG-13 up here, man. Come on, man.
But at the end of the day, we don't have people that really actually take into consideration what them boys actually go through. Like some of these boys, this is their opportunity. This is their chance. And they're just not being able to be spotlight like that to be able to get that chance. I mean, we have people in the NFL that went to HBCUs and came out superstars. So it's not like it's not possible or feasible. It just, like you said, in the mainstream, it's not respected. But
I do think we need options though. I will, you know, I'm a football junkie. So, but you know, if I have the option, I don't have ESPN 12. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need FS1, I got about FS3. I need at least y'all to get involved with some of these games. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need, you know, and again,
hey, since Amazon want to buy up everything, come on, Amazon,
do something. You know what I'm saying? But why Amazon got to do it when Tyler Perry out? He putting bad movies out every other week. I mean,
because BET don't want it.
But listen, you can do it anywhere. Tyler, you in the middle. You in Atlanta. You in the middle of HBCU allure, galore. Everybody, we can't see a game. Oprah on somebody. Go to what? It's gonna be an HBC game on Bravo before it's on TV1.
So I will say this. So as an HBCU alum, and not only an HBCU alum, I happen to go. I went to Shaw University. It is the oldest historic Black college in the South, and also part of the CIAA, which is the oldest Black conference in America. So I have seen from my perspective that, you know, when I watch like the PWIs, they get all the love, and then even like the D1 colleges, they get all the love. But it's another problem has been it's always the same Black schools. A lot of people don't know more than just the Howards, the Hamptons, the Norfolk States, and stuff like that. You tell them about Livingstone College and stuff like that. Like, where is that at?
Shout out to Langston University.
Yeah.
I think that's one problem as well. But also, the biggest thing, you hit the nail on the noggin, man, is giving back to our schools after we graduated.
Yeah.
After you graduate, you have to give back to your school, because they gave you the God-given chance that a lot of times nobody would have gotten. I know from my experience, I like to became a truck driver at the high school, but if it wasn't for Mr. Brown came and gave me a scholarship to marching band, I probably would never even march there. But it's just all about giving back to your school for the blood, sweat, and tears that you gave to them, and they took care of you. I think that's been the biggest problem. Not just supporting them during homecoming or some of these big games. Support them when it's the game. Support them when they have events, sponsors, alumni meetings, and stuff like that. Get back to these schools, man. And because right now, my sister school in Raleigh, North Carolina, St. Augustine's University, they just lost accreditation. They just lost accreditation. And I'm gonna pray for them guys over there. I know it's a rivalry. Obviously, we're both 10 minutes apart, but at the end of the day, you are a historically Black college, and I'm gonna root for you, and we root for each other. So I'm gonna pray for St. Augustine's University as they go through this process as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we gotta give back to our universities, man. Because if we were back in the old times, we wouldn't have no opportunity to go to Ohio State, Michigan, or
exactly. Yeah, some of them schools, I know some people talk about Georgia that even around in the 60s and 70s that Georgia really wouldn't even put a Black player on the team. So again, to see what Georgia is now and to see the fan base what we have now, it pretty much speaks. And speaking of being a truck driver, I literally just talked to my friend today because he was talking to me about the situation that's going down there in Mississippi. And he was like, you know, a lot of the kids, like you said, they come out, they see how much a truck driver make, and they going to the truck driver school, don't even want to go to some of these HBCUs. So again, I feel like with us, you know, we do, you know, that I know that my cousin took a pledge when she left FAMU, and she still to this day, she like, girl, I ain't giving FAMU no money. They all right, you know what I mean? And that's just how she sees it. She like, they all right, you know what I mean? But I'm like, but you know, you pledge. I went to PWI. I'm not giving the University of Texas at Arlington nothing because y'all messed up my schedule. Y'all had me paying for classes that I already took. I'm not giving y'all nothing until y'all give me back my money. That's what I'm doing. But that's just me because of how I feel about them. But if I did go to a HBCU, yeah, I would try to find some way. $5 ain't get $5. Yeah, it may not do nothing, but still give something. You know what I mean?
But going and supporting the games, going and supporting the functions, going and supporting, you know, whatever they got going on is all a help to the ecosystem, man. So, you know, yeah, DT, anytime you can go back and just have a hell of a weekend and spend some money there, you know what I'm saying? That helps. That helps. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be good if it just ain't homecoming weekend. If you make it a couple weeks, you know what I'm saying? Some people, you know, like I said, my school, Grand Valley State, is within my state. It's 3 hours away, so I can make that jaunt a couple times a year without, you know what I'm saying, really, you know, hurting me. So that's what I choose to do. But we have to set eyes and start supporting the HBCUs and all their endeavors, man, if we want them to get to where we really think they should be. And I need Tyler Perry. I need Oprah Winfrey. I need my man. I forgot the last name, Allen, who own the Weather Channel. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to collaborate. Get us a little network or something, man. It can be on 3K. It ain't even gotta be on 5K, 5G, whatever it's on, man. Listen, man. Get us a network so we can see a couple of these games, man. The CIAA tournament. Why that's not being, you know what I'm saying, shown somewhere right now, basketball wise. I haven't gone yet, but I'm gonna go check out.
They used to. That's the funny part.
Yeah,
that's the funny part. They used to. They used to show that tournament. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but you know, people don't know how to act when it comes down. And I hate to say it like this. People don't know how to act when it comes down to black events because they was already threatening to shut down the CIA tournament for the last couple of years due to the fact that them shootings started happening over there. So again,
not to skip hop, start running. Hey, look, skip hop, start running, baby.
CIAA tournament is getting lit.
Look, when my cousin went, she said, I ain't never going back again. She's like, I'm never going back again because
don't do that. We going back. We're gonna go back as a team one of these years. We're gonna go as a team. Support the CIAA.
Okay, just to let y'all know, Kaylin DeLynch from Florida State just ran a 4.55 linebacker.
Oh my God, that's what's up. So let's get back to football. Let's get back to football.
All right.
We're talking about the CIAA tournament.
We have no type of flashbacks.
I have flashbacks, bro. But okay, so let's talk about obvious things. So top 3 quarterbacks that has been talked about potentially could go 1 to 3. You have Caleb Williams, Drake May, and you have Jayden Daniels. So asking this group right now, before they even throw and possibly down the stretch, as of right now, how do you rank these 3?
The top 3 with Caleb Williams, make Drake. Make Drake. The heck? Drake May, and then Jalen. The top 3 is the top 3. There's nothing else that they can go about it. I mean, the thing about it is, yes, Caleb Williams still has some question marks. I will be honest about that. I think he can probably clear that up with his pro day. A lot of people are saying Drake may slide down the board. I don't know. He might can pick that up with his pro day. Jayden Daniels, I think it was a good choice that he chose not to run and throw. I feel like he needs to go get some weight up on him. He needs to show that he's a little bit more heavier than what he currently is. I still think that they'll kind of hit on him about his size. I think that's going to be Jayden Daniels' only small suit is that his size kind of hurts him a little bit because, I know he's probably not this, but he looked like $150 and it looked like I can take him. And if it looked like I can take you, that means I'm going to need you to get some weight up.
Come on.
I'm just saying, I need him to be at least 205, 210.
What you mean by you can take him? What you mean by that? I need to ask you that. What do you mean, like you can tackle him? Like what you think you about to do?
Tackle that man. If it look like I can tackle
that. Clip it up, DT.
Yeah. Look, if I can come behind you, put my arm and bend you back, I can tackle you.
Whoa.
You look like $150. So, I need him at least 205.
You gonna mug this man? Okay.
Like look, I'm just saying. If Jalen Carter can sit over there and lift this man up when we was in the SEC championship by giving another one with one hand, you $150 to me.
Terrible.
Listen, okay. That's crazy. Caleb is one for me based off the tape. I don't like the fact that he did regress a little bit last year. Wasn't a bunch of great defenses in the Pac-12. Also, I think he's got some questions possibly off the field. Not really with character, but just really, what do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to be a great quarterback? Do you want to be a great brand ambassador? I know both of them are possible, but we've used to seeing guys be the great quarterback first and then become the great brand ambassador. Now, he's coming in 10 million up. We've heard so many things about him. Does he want to be a great quarterback is a question. Does he want to be a great leader? There are questions about his maturity. But he is my number one guy. Number two is going to be Jaden Daniels for me. To me, I like the way that we've seen an upward climb for him from the beginning to now. Coming off of a great year, Heisman year from the SEC. He's my number two. And then number three, I got Drake May there right now, but again, I'm still gonna preach a little bit of this JJ talk to him, drinking this JJ Kool-Aid. I think he has the potential to catch Drake. Drake is kind of raw. He has some wild moments, but he has some wide moments as well. Doesn't really. He looks like he can be good, but he looks like he can be bad as well. So he doesn't really. I'm not sold on Drake, man. I think there's a little bit of a fall off from those first two guys, but I can see why folks are kind of excited about him. But he got a little Zach Wilson to me, a little Mitch Trubisky, a little
It's so funny that you mentioned that because that's what a lot of people are basically saying is him, and they saying that is the main reason why he will slip.
We'll see. But what do I know? How you see it, DT?
So currently right now, Caleb Williams is number one, very obvious. He did regress this year. They lost 5 of the last 6 games at USC, and they started like 7-0. I wasn't happy about that. He did do pretty much everything, but there were some things that like with the fumbles, 30 fumbles in 3 years, that's a lot of fumbles to keep your eye on. Playing out of structure a little bit too much. He has shown just, he can play in structure, but a lot of people are worried because when you see a Patrick Mahomes, it's Mahomes. And I understand he did this in college, but doing it against guys that's going to match speed to speed for you is going to be entirely different. And, Mahomes, he's shown he's really the unicorn in the NFL, one of the 3 unicorns, I would say, that can do that at that position. Number 2 right now, I have Jaden Daniels. He had the best year as a quarterback last year in college football. You saw the progression, like you said, C. Henry, from 2022 to 2023. Playing in the SEC helps as well. The defenses won't really spectacular, but the type of players that they're going against, the Southern style, the rugged players that he's going against, SEC style, and he's doing that at a high level. You see him play Bama twice and put up numbers. I think they win that game against Alabama if he doesn't have a concussion, in my quite honest opinion. And Drake May is 3 right now. I love Drake. I just think the questions that's going to be between Drake May and Jaden Daniels is this. One is 21 years old. The other one is 23. One right now has shown that they can play a little bit more consistently based on the amount of games they have played through college. And one person, you can still see there's some youth in his game and some rawness in his game that you're going to have to coach out of him and have, especially with some development. So the question will be for these teams and these generations making this decision. Do you want to get a guy that has the experience that can probably start for you right now? Or you want to go take the Josh Allen approach, knowing that this guy has tremendous talent, but you're going to have to coach some of the bad habits out of him. And I think right now there are some bad habits with Drake May that, quite honestly, it scares me because I can deal with that, but a lot of people are going to be very impatient, quite honestly to say. But to that point, Brandon Beane came out and said, once you get your guy and stuff like that, a lot of times you're not going to think about wherever you give up. Not saying people might trade up for Drake May, but what I'm saying is when you see him now, a lot of people are not going to think about what he looked like at the beginning.
Whoa, I'm sorry. Dallas Turner just ran a 4.4 freaking 7.
Oh, he can run.
Woo!
No, I don't know why y'all gonna take JJ McCarthy. Why you on for?
Why
are you talking about that? You getting bothered by that 4.47? Ain't he from Alabama?
Yeah.
Y'all Georgia don't do no Alabama.
But yeah, that's my top three, man. I mean, I think to me, maybe NFL people, they might still consider Drake May number two, but I don't know, man. I think the more I watch Jaden, I think some of that stuff is translatable. His release is a little bit faster than Drake May. His ability to go through progressions quick, consistently hitting the layups. That's another thing for Drake May that I've seen. He's not hitting the layups very easily. I think those are the things that separate. The one thing I will say is this. If Jaden can show that he can keep his eyes downfield to make plays while on the run, I think that definitely will boost him far more, because you see a lot of times that because he was the better athlete at quarterback, he's able to outrun guys. But you see Drake May, he can be able to throw out of structure. You see Caleb Williams, obviously he's able to throw out of structure. I didn't see that enough from Jaden Daniels.
I think with Jaden, it's like he made a commitment. When he ran, he made a commitment to run. You know, Jaden looked very, very good, man, in terms of playing on structure this year. And again, I think that a little bit of that goes to him being coached by some NFL guys with Herm and Antonio Pierce while he was at Arizona State. Him getting a great education on the spread offense with Brian Kelly down there. And again, him just being able to pick up different concepts and apply them on the field. I think that really, really, really translated well to his game. To me, really, again, can he get a little bit of more weight? Can he avoid some of those tackles? Can he learn to slide? Can he get out of bounds? Are the biggest questions. Dan Orlovsky came out today and said that he felt that Jaden Daniels was the number one guy. I don't agree totally with it, but I can see why he said that. I can see why he said that. I know it's a little clickbait.
I thought it was on mute. You repeat that again? I've been at work.
Dan Orlovsky came on today and said that he thought that Jaden Daniels was the number one quarterback. And normally Dan says some clickbaity stuff. I don't normally agree with them. I don't know if I agree with them totally here, but I can see how he came up to that synopsis. I do. And I think a lot of it has to do with him playing more on time, him having a more spectacular year on the ground and through the air, and him playing against SEC defenses week in and week out.
Was this First Take? This was on First Take?
I believe so. Yeah, I can send you the clip. It's all over the internet.
He said it's all over the internet, child.
I've been at work all day.
Yeah, he told
me. They ain't talked about y'all ain't had a Commander Space.
Nah, I ain't been to Commander Space today, man.
These boys talking about get your money up. They talking about get your money. They don't want to have no spaces or nothing. Don't nobody want to spend no money. Talk about spending no money. They don't want to do nothing.
Easy.
I know you in the background somewhere. You hear me, dog? Y'all want to do nothing.
Man, come on, man.
I got 87 million. I want to keep 57 million. Talking about we can hold it to next year. No, you can't, damn
it. Man, get your weight up, man.
Ooh, okay. So this dude, Peyton Wilson from North Carolina State, just beat Dallas Turner. He ran a 4.44.
That's impressive. I believe if I'm not mistaken, he had either a torn ACL or a broken leg. He's been injured a little bit from North Carolina State, right?
But if he
North Carolina State.
You let me know what young Junior Colson run if he's run yet. Let me know what he do.
Okay, so outside of quarterback, which position group intrigues you the most during the scouting combine?
I ain't gonna lie to you right now. These defensive linemen can move. They can move. I mean, we all know the wide receiver group is deep this year, so I'm not shocked about the wide receivers. Quarterbacks, we already know about them. There's some offensive lineman guys, but I'm going to say the most impressive group right now. I'm not even, because I mean, it's only about one tight end that I care about, and that's Brock. But as today has transpired, these defensive linemen can freaking move, especially the interior guys. They can move. I expect the edges to be a little swift, you know what I mean? But these interior guys on the D linemen, they have impressed me. They have impressed me.
Yeah, I'm with E. I'm going D lineman. I think that's one of our biggest need areas. And again, there's a lot of talent there. There are some question marks about some guys, especially on the edge. Darius Robinson, is he going to be able to play on the edge, or is he more of a 3 technique?
They can't see him in a 3-4. I just read a scouting report. They can't see him in a 3-4.
They
can't see it.
I want to see what Latu runs and how his medicals check out with his neck. Again, the interior guys, we definitely have a need there, so I'm definitely checking there. But again, I'm definitely looking at the wide receiver group, because I think that's a little bit of a fluid group outside those top 3 guys. After that, there's a lot of fluidity there. And again, that is the one position that we've seen a lot of folks come in and make an immediate impact. Whether it was Odell, whether it was JJ. So I'm really looking at which one of these guys.
Tank Dell, yeah.
Tank Dell. Which one of these guys can come in and make an immediate impact somewhere? And again, we're not talking about necessarily round run guys either. So I'm definitely looking at the wide receiver group.
Yeah. I mean, like I know we're talking about it now, and we will get to it later. We all know Atlanta's needs, but Atlanta is really looking at the edge position. So like guys like Jared Verse today showed out for them. I know a lot of people were looking at Dallas Turner with him just running his, so that's another person. Latu is already going to be on there as well. Murphy, the defensive lineman from Texas, made him some money today too. He's on a couple of people's boards. So again, like I said, there's so many. I mean, even Chip from Penn State. I mean, a lot of people knew that he was going to have a good workout. He's still a raw talent, but I think somebody's going to take a chance on him if he ends up in the right situation. So again, that's one of our major needs outside of quarterback, and then we need another wide receiver. So I am going to be paying attention to the wide receiver group, because we do need a number 2. So those are my needs right now. You know what I mean? At this point, I mean, we are looking at another probably defensive back, probably somebody on the outside of AJ if Okudah just doesn't check out. With that, we'll see about that one. So yeah,
I heard something about L'Jarius Sneed. I figure if y'all trade for Justin Fields and y'all trade for L'Jarius Sneed, that probably be about 5-6 picks.
We'll see. We made a big splash last year with defense. I mean, Danielle Hunter is still out there too, so we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we got a lot of Atlanta, to be honest with you, even though with our situation, we're technically, in a sense, in a good position when it comes down to where we can go and which way we can go. So that's very shocking. That's really very shocking for us. Like I promise you, I've never seen us like this in this position. So I'm kind of excited, especially watching these dudes run. Oh dang, Keelan Mitch, his second run was a 4.47. So these linebackers moving, honey. They moving.
Yeah. So guys both went to the defensive line. I'm going offensive line. I think this offensive line class is looking very, very good. Joe Hall, he's, from what I've heard, he's starting to look like probably the first tackle on the board. You still got Olu Kid from Penn State, Felice Rufunga from Oregon State, but the second tier guys, they looking pretty good as well. Troy Fafanu and Jordan Morgan, there are talks about them, possibly coming to the NFL playing guard. But even if they have to do that, you watch them on tape, they have been very solid contributors for their offensive line. Patrick Paul, Chris Paul's brother from Houston, he has showed out in the Senior Bowl as well. So there's a lot of offensive linemen that I like. And my favorite guard in this class is Cooper Beebe from Kansas State. That dude is just big, mean, ugly dude. And if he's there at 36, I pray to God Commanders get him, man. I need that Cooper Beebe.
I'm telling y'all, man, listen, man, I'm for all the Commanders, man. I'm for the Commanders, man, taking that next step this year, man. So look, y'all need 3 new bodies. 3 new bodies on the offensive line, man. I don't care where they are. It can be 2 tackles, 1 guard. It'll be 1 center, 1 guard, 1 tackle. 3 new bodies up there to help whoever the quarterback is going to be. Help them out because they got the weapons on the outside.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hey, bro, just
Somebody
for
said
that.
Cooper BB
Matter
is a
of fact, bro,
cowboy. I'll be
this
honest
whole-
with you. Cowboys don't need to be worrying about that offensive
This-
line. Y'all
this
need
whole-
linebackers. Y'all need to be paying attention to this right here and go get you a linebacker. That's what y'all need, not no
This
offensive line.
This Coles right here, yeah. I'm about to-
Look, no, heck no. Talking about Cooper B. No, y'all don't need no.
Lots of
Look,
teeth,
look.
man.
Y'all don't even need no offensive lineman. Go get that linebacker. That's what y'all need. Yeah, y'all need both, but I'll go for that linebacker first, baby. I'm sorry. Y'all need
They
that
need it.
linebacker.
They need to find a running back too. They need to find a running back, man. What y'all think was gonna
That
happen
too.
with all these running backs out here? I'm just seeing that
They
the
don't-
Vikings
to be
are
honest-
releasing,
That's another
the
good
Vikings are
conversation.
releasing Alexander Madison. So another one is on the free agent market.
that class is just really not that deep unless they're gonna go, swing for the fences after Blake.
Oh, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if we don't see a running back in the first 2 rounds. Wouldn't surprise me.
But so y'all look, so the Cowboys need a linebacker. I'm putting a linebacker first because y'all need linebacking help, honey. Y'all need it. A linebacker, offensive line, a running back, and a cornerback. Oh yeah. Y'all need all y'all picks this year. Don't even think about trading with nobody.
I'm crying, bro. But dang,
Oh, they said Gilmore not coming back. So y'all not gonna pay him? I didn't hear nothing. Y'all heard something about Gilmore not coming back?
I ain't
Well,
heard
I
that.
know he was on a 1-year deal. Yeah, Detroit got their eye on. We looking at from the old man market. We got him, Xavier Howard, and Kendall Fuller in the old man market.
Ooh, I did not know Gil.
I mean, Trayvon Diggs, you have Deron Bland. Yeah, they probably gonna need a corner.
They gonna need a corner. Because who's to say Diggs gonna come back at 100%?
Yeah, but the running back market is definitely interesting. I know we don't talk about it as much, but with the amount of running backs that in the past couple of days we heard about Saquon Barkley potentially could be a huge Houston Texans target.
If he is, shout out to CJ Stroud. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Who else? Josh Jacobs
Mm-hmm.
possibly could go back to the Raiders, but I think he'll test the market, in my opinion.
I think all of them, without them being tagged, all of them going to test the market. This is a time for them to get out here and possibly reset it. We talked last year when Saquon turned down that money and they had the whole phone call, the Zoom call. This is a chance for them to kind of reset the market. So we had Derrick Henry out here, Josh Jacobs, Saquon, Eckler is out here. Now Mr. Madison is out here. Tony Pollard is a free agent because he's one of the ones who took that $10 million and ran and stole that money last year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
So,
but I think a lot of people try to tell the Cowboy fans that, but they were so hyped.
Hey, you win some and you lose some. That's just how it goes. Shout out to that man, AJ Dillon, another good name. I think a lot of teams are going to be able to supplement themselves with some, good running backs. Like you said, there aren't any guys who are really going to probably jump out for the first 50, 60 picks. There are some guys that I do like, though. You know what I'm saying? You spoke about Blake. The gentleman from Texas, Jonathan Brooks, is pretty tough.
Yeah.
There's the guy from.
But doesn't he have injury issues? Because I know he was hurt being behind Bijan.
I'm not sure. Bijan was holding it down for so many years.
Well, they said it was supposed to be him. It was supposed to be Bijan and him being a tag team, but they said he got hurt like his freshman year and just never. But they said he's a bell cow.
Then Roshan blew up the scene a little bit. Roshan Johnson. So I don't know. But the guy out of Notre Dame, 5'11", 230. He's going to be very interesting to see what he runs. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see. And interesting, do these guys get fair market deals or do these guys get lowball? Do they wait to the whole offseason, sign everybody else, and then lowball everyone? So let's see how it works out.
He said he wanted Pollard gone. Half your fan base didn't, though.
Jerry did, and that's all that mattered.
First of all, Jerry about to be looking casket shop. He look.
Ooh, don't do him like that. Don't do it like that. Not casket shop. Don't do that man like that.
Nasty work. Nasty.
I'm just saying he about to be looking casket shop. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest about Mr. Jones. It's just the same thing. Look, Arthur Blank looking Godfather nice.
Jerry getting DNA tested.
He said Jerry getting DNA tested. You
man.
know what? I ain't even think
Look.
look.
You know, you said like, you know, little slip, little dip. You know how it be.
I'm not finna play.
Little Nick, little knack, you know, mess around and patty whack. You know how it
I'm
goes.
just gonna say this: one of them good enough.
Yo, he put that. Yo, the algorithms are cooked, bro.
He said, "Sadly, I'm not joking."
Oh,
Wow.
well, listen, there's somebody else who's rich now. Hallelujah.
Oh my god. Okay. We gotta get. All right. Let's tell everybody our team needs before we close out. So, E, what are the Falcons' team needs as you're looking headed into this 2024 offseason?
Besides a quarterback, I need me an edge and a wide receiver. That's what I need right now. I don't mind having another DB over there, even a safety, a cornerback or a safety or both. I'm fine with that. But my two major needs, I need me an edge and I need me another wide receiver. I gotta have me a number 2. Somebody gotta help my Drake out. So yes.
See, Henry, what y'all need?
For us, man, we need our coach to kick some field goals. That's first and foremost. We need some field goals to be attempted. A guide to when to kick field goals, an analytical chart right there in his. Oh well, we can put up on a scoreboard and let my man know, Dan know when it's time to kick a field goal. But besides that, we got to get better on the edge, man. We need somebody to rush the passer. Opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, and I wouldn't be adverse to grabbing a couple of guys in that capacity, kind of get some type of rotation going on there. And I mean, of course, man, we had the 29th ranked pass defense, so we got to get better at the cornerback position. We've done a pretty decent job reloading at the safety position. I like Melifonwu. I like Kirby Joseph. I don't know if we're going to bring CJ, what's his name, CJ GJ back or not, but we definitely need some continuity at the cornerback position opposite of Cam Sutton. So we're looking hard at the draft and free agency, baby. Also, interior offensive line. We don't know how long we're going to have on Frank Ragnow. He's dealing with a toe injury that's inoperable. So we don't know how long we're going to have him. And our 2 guards, Graham Glasgow and Jonah Jackson, are unrestricted free agents. So yeah, we got to get better at it.
Yeah, so obviously excluding quarterback because that's obvious thing for Washington. Washington just need to go in the trenches on both sides, and that's offensive line and finding an edge rusher after trading Montez Sweat and Chase Young. Trying to fix the offensive line after a couple years of having guys like Chase Roulier, Morgan Moses, Brandon Sheriff, and even Trent Williams, trying to get some guys that can play and be more consistent, helping the run game, helping the pass game, marry those things together, and then finding a guy at edge. Now, I do like KJ Henry and Andre Jones, but I think at this point there's still developmental guys, rotational guys that can come in and play a couple snaps. I do think Washington will probably poach away a couple edge rushers from Dallas, but they still need to get a guy at the edge for this team.
I mean, it kind of looked like all of us is looking at that defensive side of the ball.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? I know we shopping in, the same, little bin here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to see what we're gonna do here. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm trying to end the show early. With that being said, this is Enters the Lab podcast. We back, man. We're gonna have so much draft content this season. We're gonna do some mock drafts too. That's already in my plan. We're gonna do. I'm gonna
sit. You know what? I'm gonna draft y'all another guard. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna draft the Commanders another. Guard.
Okay, hang on.
Hey, they needed it.
We did. We did. But he still went second round, like I said.
He went second round, but I mean, yes, it probably was the wrong guard. But I still said y'all need a gold guard, and they pounced superstar me.
They don't know what they need. They still, I listen. They be talking about Brock Bowers, wide receiver. I hear all type of. I hear everything but left tackle.
Who said
Right
we
tackle.
need Brock
I know
Bowers?
you said DT, but I'm talking about everybody else in that room. They be talking about Brock Bowers.
No, tell me who said that so I go into space and cook them. Because that's nasty work, bro. Who said it?
You know, Caleb say that every day. He want Brock Bowers. I want Brock Bowers. If he
Yeah, because wait a minute. First of all, Caleb just came and asked me talk about what would you do? What would you want for pick?
I would trade for Brock Bowers.
For pick, I want the whole entire draft. I told him that. I said for Kyle Pitts, I want
Hey, listen, hey, while you playing,
draft.
I need to get him. He over here
1 through
politicking
7.
for Kyle. I ain't been nothing since year 1 picks. He over there trying to trade your whole draft for him. You know,
I said I want the whole draft. I want Commanders' whole draft for Kyle Pitts. Since you want Pitts so bad, 1 through 7, give it to me.
I'm gonna have to look up the amounts of prolific tight ends in this air raid offense, because he was oh man, him in the air raid offense with Queensberry. I said I don't remember
when he's talking about with Brock Bowers or with
prolific tight ends in this air raid offense. None really come to mind, but I'm not an aficionado of it, but none really come to mind. I'm gonna have to look up prolific tight ends in the air raid offense.
He was talking about for Kyle Pitts.
Well, he's saying that he want a tight end to go in this offense because they've been so prolific in this air raid offense, is what he said. I said, I don't remember tight end. I may be wrong. I mean,
especially now with no Brock Bowers or Kyle Pitts. Those are okay. DT, go get your fan base. We'll holler at y'all next week.
Just
DT
for that,
gotta go get his fan base.
I'm going solo, Cam.
I'm sorry.
Listen to me. Whoever said we need to take Brock Bowers, you are a disgusting human being, and you're probably the biggest casual on this app. I'm about to go in spaces. I'm about to find you. This is Entrance the Lab podcast. We back.
We back, baby.